Hey guys, it's me again tonight. Today is the 29th. I got this box yesterday, but picked it up this morning after work. And so today is the 29th, and so I'll plug up my phone before I forget. Hold on, guys. Okay. So here is my box, Darn Good Yarn, and I got it yesterday, the 28th, but it was mailed out October the 20th. So this is Darn Good Yarn, October 2025. I already opened it and I already looked at it because usually I'm very, very disappointed like in the free item that you get. But the week that we got the Crochet, the yarn bag, that was awesome. I really like that. But usually they give us stuff that we don't actually need. What's in this box, I actually have a couple of them, but they're already in use, so they're in other bags that are stuff that I've started that I just haven't finished. So I was really, really happy with this one. I wish I would have done it, opened it online, opened it with y'all for my first impression, because I was ecstatic. I really like this October. But again, guys, this is Darn Good Yarn of the month of October. This is a monthly subscription. One scheme is $10 with shipping and handling. That makes it $13.95. The other option is 3 schemes, 3 balls of yarn, and that one is $25, which makes it $28.95 with shipping and handling. And on the box it says Darn Good Yarn, Yarn of the Month. Yarn with a purpose, delivered monthly, made with love, with uncycled silk and global artisans. And so here it is. And it's just a plain box, so that's the only thing that gives a notion. When you open it, oh, and this year was goddesses. Last year was places like Scotland, Ireland, and stuff like that. This one was goddesses. So we have November and we have October, we have November and December for the goddesses, and so I wonder what next year is going to be like. But remember, here it is. This is October. When you open up the box, these boxes are pretty sturdy too. When you open the box, here's what it looks like, and you get 3 schemes of yarn. So here are my schemes, but we'll get more into that in just a second. And here is the Darn Good Yarn. I really do like the artwork. These would be great to put in frames once I'm done with the patterns. But I'll never be done with the patterns, because you never know when you're going to use a pattern again, really. But that's that. So this is the deal. It says Darn Good Yarn of the Month, and it's Moonstone Veil, worsted weight recycled silk, and then everything. I wish it had on here what month it was, because sometimes it gets confusing. But I understand why, because back in the day when you used to get Darn Good Yarn, you never got the month that it was in. You got the beginning month. You always started out with the first ever. And so when I joined Darn Good Yarn, if you go back and look, when I joined Darn Good Yarn, I wanted to get all the way up to date. So I think I paid for like almost a year in advance and got all of them shipped to me at once. And that way I got up to the month that I was in. Because I wanted to have it on the deal. But now, you don't go all the way back to the beginning. Now you can start with this month. The people online have been getting the previous boxes because I think they're getting them free from them. So they're requesting to have like free boxes sent to them. And I think that they're just sending random ones that they have in the deal. So unless they're subscribed and they get the actual month, some of those aren't correct. Some of them are previous months. But so this is Darn Good Yarn of the Month, Moonstone Veil, and it's for October 2025. And so it says, a Moonstone Veil, worsted weight recycled silk. channeling the tranquil strength of autumn nights. Serene, goddess of the moon, is a worsted weight yarn that captures the quiet magic of October. With flowing shades of steel blue, cream, and dark twilight yarn, this yarn mirrors moonlight drifting across a crisp evening sky, just like the lunar goddess herself. Selene exudes a calm, steady energy, an invitation to slow down, create with intense and embraced balance. With intention and embraced balance. Crafted with care by Darn Good Yarn, this yarn represents more than beauty. It embodies a commitment to sustainability and social empowerment. Echoing the harmony Selene brings to both cosmic and crafts. Perfect for cozy scarves, warm hats, and autumn-inspired home decor. This yarn turns every project into a celebration of handmade elegance and conscious creativity. And then here's this. I do like all the artwork. And here's what the yarn is supposed to look like. Does that have too much glare? Okay. Now for the knitters, it's an easy pattern, and it's called Adventurer's Hat. I wish this was the crochet pattern, because I really like that. It looks like a sleep nightcap. Do you see it looks like a sleeper's nightcap? See? You know, like in Scrooge, you know, when he has a little hat that goes over, you know. And it's supposed to be an easy crochet pattern, a knit pattern. Now for crochet, I might make this, but I'll never be able to wear it. But it's a Kenzoe Bralette, and it's easy. And you're going to use an 8 and a 6. So you're going to use an H and a G, a 5mm, and it says a 5mm and a 5mm, but 6 is a 4mm, so that's a misprint. And here's what it looks like on the person. Because it says on here, it says helpful notes. Everyone should have a friend like Kenzoe. Everyone who is able and willing to go with any situation. This bralette, named after my oldest daughter's best friend, is a tribute to her fun, fashionable, and cool style. Just like her, the Kenzoe bralette is adaptable with ties that adjust to your perfect fit. Sorry, my stomach was gurgling. And so, there it is again. And it says, meet the designer. Kara Boyle, Boyel, onecrazystitch@gmail.com. Carrie is a proud empath and constant anxiety. Constantly anxious. Sorry. Kara is a proud empath and constantly anxious. She knits to keep herself from melting down and making her eyes all puffy. She hates that. She lives with her husband, 3 kids, dog, bunny, and 2 chihuahuas in an apartment in Boise, Idaho. I know that feeling because I started taking projects to do when I first got diagnosed with cancer. I started taking projects because I had so many doctor's appointments trying to get it under control and find out what was going to work for me that I was getting anxious, and my blood pressure was sky high at the doctor's office because I'm waiting in the waiting room when the doctor says the appointment's at 8:30 and you don't get to go get seen until 9:15 because of all the people that came in late or stayed longer for their appointment, and it kind of got off track and you have to wait. Well, I'm an anxious person myself, and so if it's supposed to be at 8:30, I want you to take me in at 8:25, you know. And so I would get upset, and I'd almost start crying because I would get mad because why weren't they taking me when they were supposed to take me. So when Mama was doing her doctor's appointments previously too, and we had all the days in chemo and all the days in dialysis and stuff like that, I used to take projects with me, so I started just building these little projects and putting them in bags and taking them with me to the doctor's office and working on them, because I would forget how long I had been sitting there when I was crocheting. And so then when they call my name, I'll be like, oh, already? And all that stuff. So yeah, I understand anxiety, and yarn does help a lot. It keeps my anxiety way low. But again, here she is. And here is the back picture. I don't have as many doctor's appointments as I used to, but I still have doctor's appointments. And here is the yarn, and I think it's really pretty. I like the way it looks. I won't make no bralette out of it, because this is more something like, if they had that sleepy hat, I would do that. Or, you know, I wish there was enough of this one that I could do what that Mary Maxim's one from last month, the mittens, hat, and scarf. I think this is pretty enough for that. I think that is just pretty. But there's not enough yarn for it. I have to pick one or the other to find out what I want to do with it. But I'm not using this for it. This will be for a day when I find something that I can use all the yarn. Or by chance somebody sends it, I get more of this yarn. But yeah, this is just pretty. See? Now, since this is made by individuals, it's not done by a machine, we don't have a lot number, you know, so there's no die lot number. So every scheme is kind of different, and some might have more blues, more whites, and other stuff. So they're similar, but not completely perfection, like, you know, the dot lot numbers that are done by machine. These are all hand done, so they're really cool. Now it says that this is a bulky. Okay, they say that this is a 4. Okay, I thought the pattern said 5, but that's a 4, which is pretty cool. See, but it is kind of. It reminds me of tweed. You know, that fabric, and I just like it. So yeah. But I probably will not use it. I won't use it on that project. I don't know what project I'll use it on, but I think this is very pretty. I got a lot of darn good yarn that I wouldn't use on that project, but I'm waiting for something perfect to come in. Now for the free item. These are great to have. So I'm so glad they gave us this. But it is this. It is a finger counter. You can get these at Hobby Lobby, Michael's. They run from about $6 to $12, depending on how fancy you want to get it. Some of them have watches, but this one is just a ring. So you just put it on your finger and you just crochet, or just lay it beside you. I usually lay it beside you. But when you push it in, you just keep track. It's got a reset, an LD, and then it's got a count. So when you so you just push the button every time you finish a line, and then you know what line you're on. So see, and so you just go on there, and it's really great to have, like, if you're doing socks, you know, and you don't want to have to write down exactly on your piece of paper every line you're at. That way you can just go back to this and look in there and say, oh, I was on line such and such. And because when you're doing socks and it's a single stitch, it's so hard to count. And so that's pretty much all my sock ones. I have one of these in there with them. But right now, since we moved from the old house, and since my house got taken from me and I had to get this house, I don't know where all my work in progresses are. So my whips. So I'm kind of starting over, and hopefully if I find them, I have one of these in there, or they're not single crochet, so I can count them. I was gonna see how many lines this goes to how many it will reset, but it doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it's got a deal. It looks like you'll have to do a reset because I've already gotten up to 219. So really, that's plenty of line counting that you can do, and then you just hit the reset button, and it takes you back to 0. And it does have a light. And I think this is kind of cool. Now I just wonder if it takes batteries, and if it takes batteries, is it the batteries for the deal? But I have to tell you, I'm not for sure, because I don't want to take it apart until I have to. So that's kind of cool. I do have to admit, I don't just lay it to the side. I usually have a necklace or something on so that I can just have it hanging and I can go toot toot toot, you know. But I really like this. I think this is a great deal. When I saw it, I kind of squealed because I was making those mittens and I had to lay it down, and so I'm not for sure what it's on. And it's one of the ones that you'll have to count because it was half a double crochet, so it's just a little bit over a single, so it's going to be kind of hard to count. So I hope y'all enjoy this, and darn good yarn. Send us stuff that we can actually use, which is awesome. I loved the bag, the yarn holder bag, which I am using, and I'm going to use it when I go to the doctor because I hate when my yarn touches the hospital tables and stuff. I don't mind if my bag touches the hospital tables and stuff, but I don't like my yarn to touch it. I'm kind of OCD about that stuff. And counters, you can never have too many of them because I'm bad about finishing projects. So it's good to have it if it's a lot of counting, you know, like socks, mittens, and scarves, anything that's really single crochet. Those are so fun to have because they'll keep track of it. And thank y'all guys for watching. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Talk to y'all later. Bye.